We can dive into this, so whenever you want to go.
All right.
Do it.
Hey, hunters, welcome back to the loading screen, an hour-long show about all things Monster Hunter. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Jim Fury, and I'll be one of your hosts as we kick it for the next hour and discuss all the wonderful stuff that Capcom has to offer. I'm joined, as always, by the one and only Phemeto. Fem, why don't you go ahead and kick us off, buddy?
Sure, why not? Hey, hunters, welcome back to another episode of Loading Screen. Sorry these are so far and few in between. We're kind of busy and now, but trying to get these things up and going again. As always, I got my co-host here, old Papa Jin. And then as our other guest for the day, we have Brother Virtue, whom I haven't seen and spoke to in fucking years. I haven't seen him since the 2018 World Tournament, and that was a fucking disaster. Glad to see you again. Glad to reach out. Thanks for coming on board, sir.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
You want to go ahead and introduce yourself for people who don't know who you are, you?
I'm always really horrible at selling myself. Brother Virtue, stream on Twitch, been with Monster Hunter for a really long time. Basically a OG washout of the Monster Hunter scene. So
Fair enough.
I'm good at self-debasing.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. All right, let's go ahead and show everyone our drinks and what we're going to be doing today.
I'll be drinking tequila, 1800. That's what I'm doing to make it smooth, make it easy, and I'll even do a shot right now with everybody.
Tequila is never easy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Cheers.
Yeah. All right.
Beautiful.
I've got the Knot whiskey. This is one of my favorite whiskeys. Very vanilla-y, very smooth. Not really sweet, which I hate sweet whiskeys.
Knot's good.
Yeah, it's just oak and vanilla. I like the Knot. So, cheers.
Cheers. I've got Gunmai Ginjo Sake, a hero. That's pretty smooth, nice blend, and Kirin malt to chase it with. I think a little bit of Powerade off to the side.
Nice.
Because I haven't eaten a whole lot today.
I got a coffee for my chaser, because coffee and whiskey is always a good combo. Good stuff. All right. So, I mean, I guess we can just go ahead and dive into this. Anyway, so for people who don't know, I mean, Brother obviously has been around for fucking ever, but I haven't seen you around in 5 as well, because you used to be around like in the Monster Hunter World days before Iceborne and all that stuff. But I mean, where have you been recently? Because I have not seen you around the Monster Hunter scene at all.
I streamed Rise when it first came out, like everybody else, and I got my kicks, and then obviously, you know, content lock, as Capcom likes to do, and started playing other games.
What are you playing now?
So just waiting. I was raiding yesterday on Destiny. I've been getting back into that. I know that that's not for everybody, but I've been enjoying D2. It is. I like to believe in the threefold of hunters. So it's you got hunters in Destiny, S class. I don't really play Bloodborne anymore, and I know that's not for everybody, but you got hunters in that and Monster Hunter.
I 100% agree. I'm actually, in
It's a
Monster
lifestyle.
Hunter. I used to play Destiny too. Obviously, huge fan of Bloodborne. And then I am back to playing WoW because Burning Crusade comes out on Tuesday, and I've got my Hunter set up in that.
I've been playing XIV, so.
Oh, you're in Final Fantasy 2? Are you playing with like Peko and Seth and stuff?
I don't play with these people.
All right, I'm just curious.
I know them, but I mean, I don't play with any of them.
Damn, I'm the only guy.
I think we all know each other.
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot to do in Monster Hunter right now.
True.
Well, that's where you get your Pokemon.
Yeah, but like, I need something deeper. You know what I mean? Like, everything's over in 10 to 20 minutes. Like, I need like some kind of long-term goal. You know what I mean? Like rating, endgame, guild, or something like that. Yeah, but you
can't really like. Well, I mean, when you have your job, sure. I'm just like, because you're a full-time streamer right now, you can't really stream. I don't know how people do streams with MMOs. MMOs are the most boring shit to fucking stream. I don't know how people do it. I would never want to do it.
The only people I watch that do that are like Chef, because I like watching Chef talk. Like, I don't really like MMOs. It's more about like watching the person behind it for sure. Because it's so many cooldowns. You're just clicking the buttons at the bottom of the screen. The only thing that's different is like the UI setup that anybody's got. All the games are the same. Your character's this big, some big ass creature. 30 of you motherfuckers running around hitting it for 2,000 to 4,000 while the quad rampages through everything, and someone's got a healing cycle going on. I mean, it's all the same. It's fun though. It's fun as shit.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
God, dude,
Takes up a lot of time.
It really does, especially if you're like one of those like hardcore like first like server first guilds, you know what I mean? Like where you gotta be up at like 2 a.m. when some weird thing randomly spawns that you gotta go fucking camp before like all the other people get to it, and you're the only one who can teleport people in, so you gotta have like your cell phone on active at like 2 in the morning. Like, dude, shit can get wild with those games, especially because they consume you like MMOs. They really do. I'm surprised I haven't heard more negatives about Final Fantasy, because every other game you've heard about like it consumes their lives in a negative
market
way.
board.
Really?
Yeah, but that's okay.
Life,
But
yeah,
it's okay.
crafting, gathering.
Yeah, but you still have your shit together. Like I'm saying, like in other games, like WoW and like EverQuest, like you just heard about like people just falling off the fucking deep end. Yeah, really dying. Like not 9 cups of urine next to them. Like they starve themselves or dehydrated to death in the fucking.
I haven't seen that for like Final Fantasy.
You haven't seen it with Final Fantasy? No, it's all good, positive shit. Everyone's like, yeah, more Final Fantasy, bring it on. It's great. Like I mean,
I almost did that for Monster Hunter, man. Back in for you, I streamed for 5.5 days straight.
What
no
the
joke.
fuck?
No joke. I streamed for 5.5 days straight.
How do you survive? How did you took naps, obviously, right?
No. Showers. I ate. I had shit break. Like I had breaks.
Yeah.
Like I stepped away to do things.
Did you sleep?
But I
like,
never turned off the stream, and I never slept.
What the? How do you? Yeah, I don't know how. Like
I feel like I lost years of my life doing that.
I 100% believe that. Do you know Crestbear? Crestbear's back on, by the way. He's playing Final Fantasy, I think. So Crestbear, who did a lot of world stuff as well, he used to do that shit where he would stream for 3-4 days straight, like constantly, like every other week, and I think it might have just like killed him.
Dude, 24 hours in stream time on Twitch is literally like 2.5 days IRL. Like just because you're watching the screen, you're trying to interact, you're playing the game at the best level that you can. You're trying to keep yourself energized. Like I planned out a diet, I planned out my breaks, like I planned out everything going into it, and by like the 4th or 5th day, I was like, fuck it, cheeseburgers, beer, I don't give a fuck. I'm just dying right now, so I'm just gonna go out.
That's how I am. Like, I unfortunately got in with the hardcore guild starting for Burning Crusade, so I have to work this week when Burning Crusade launches, and so I have to work and play at the same time. And I'm basically planned out, an hour or 2 hours of sleep a day, and planned out my jobs for work that I can actually play at, and I'm have to go like fucking ham. So, yeah, it's a lifestyle, man. That's just those games.
It's a personal choice to destroy myself. Yeah. So I mean,
we're all about that. Self-hate is the way to go.
Speaking of self-hate, what made you stop playing Monster Hunter?
So I never really stopped playing Monster Hunter. I just stopped being like visible in the social scene. Like that's probably the better way to really look at that. Like it's not I mean, I don't know to what extent you guys know about me as far as my history with Monster Hunter.
Only a little bit, to be honest.
I've played every Monster Hunter to current. I've imported. I modded for P3rd. I was on the front lines for when the forum boards, both Capcom Unity, Skies of Arcadia, when people were providing information and trying to get to keep us together as a community, really. With that jump to X-Link Kai, and then many years later, finally PlayStation, or Sony rather, got on board and supported that with the PSP. But by then, even though they added the infrastructure, there just wasn't the core audience there anymore. So like the game has always floundered here in the West, whereas it's succeeded in the East, or been the Call of Duty, so to say, for Japan. Then come like Try, 3U, the beginning of Justin.tv or Twitch. I was there at that forefront with some of those early streamers, the Club 1K Joe. I made my own stream team, MLH. Later on came Pooji Platoon. A lot of back and forth drama and silly things happened in that. Probably had about maybe 15 streamers in my team at that time. I used to run PowerPoints. I would try to get people together, host meetings. I was doing artwork for everybody. I was trying to collab with artists. I collected like 30 some odd Katsukity codes and ended up trying to communicate with that business front to provide some sort of like code or promotion so that way streamers could get the equipment easier. I was giving away capture cards when I was streaming. Like I was raising money I was raising money for other streamers. I really was focused on community at that time. And then leading up to World, there was a con where a lot of that was announced, and I ended up hearing from some close friends that basically everybody on the team was speaking poorly about me and had nothing but bad things to say. And they're saying these things in front of Capcom devs, CM, so on. And I that hit me hard. And basically, I kind of receded into myself, and we ended up taking a couple other new members on, which was like the final brick that, you know, collapsed the wall for me. And essentially, people were on the stream team, and they were, it's like a weird figurative example for you, but so like you go out on a hunt, and there's items in the box, right?
Yep.
So this streamer decided that those items in the box couldn't be touched by anybody but him. And he was just like, it was really dumb and silly, but it was like one of those like moments in my head that I remember like just being like, this is what I'm building. This is what I'm supporting. Like I'm helping other streamers grow and bringing people together. And I'm, you know, doing all these things for them. And they're out here preaching this bullshit of like, you have to hunt this way, otherwise you're a bad hunter. You have to do these things this way, or you're a bad hunter. And it's like, and to me, it was a wake up of just like, I don't want to be associated to this. I don't want, this isn't what I want to have my influence be on the community. Mm-hmm. And we were, you know, the game was still very niche, like or niche, or however you want to say that. But it was one of those things where we didn't have that mainstream likability yet. We didn't have big personalities coming into the game promoting it. So for me, I was just like, I don't want to stand by this. I don't want to be constantly caught up in drama and hearsay and what people think the game needs to be played like. It's like the old mentality of the Monster Hunter origins for the community was to support, build, and basically pass on like legacy to some extent for other players. And I didn't want to be associated or responsible for that kind of message of like, this is how you have to play. And if you're not friends with so-and-so, you're not welcome. And if you don't know so-and-so, you're not welcome. And if you're not playing in a certain way, yeah, I mean, that's everybody. That's the player base. It's not veteran only. Mm. So yeah, I mean, like I cut the team, I cut the social presence, I stopped posting shit. I just backed off. I didn't feel like I could trust anybody in the scene. So
well, that was before World, like, but you were still around during World and stuff too, and like you're still pretty active.
So that was the what I just told you was like leading up to World, the Monster Hunter side of it. Mm-hmm. The personal side of it is like 2018. I lost my mom. My car broke down, and I finally got rid of it, and that was like my dream car, like that one passionate thing that you have. And my dog died. So
that was rough here.
Emotionally, I was fucked. Like I didn't have a whole lot to hold on to, and that's coming off of literally just all of this business side of things, where it's like, this is the professional, like this is how I want to approach things, this is how I want to portray myself, this is who I want to be involved with, these are the projects I want to work on, and that all kind of blew up. So it was like, well, you know, I'll start again. And going into World, you know how we had the beta phases in December and so on. I did a lot of those, and then what I ended up doing was doing reruns, which was new on Twitch at the time. But I was always actively in my chat with other mods, and I ended up getting like hundreds of new follows and a lot of interaction and like 63K some concurrent new views, blah blah blah. You know, numbers. Yeah. So things were looking up, and that's when mom got sick, she died. Dog got sick, she died. Car got sick, she died. and I just didn't know where to fucking go from there. So I mean, like I streamed and I played, but I mean, I didn't have that social aspect of friends that I trusted and wanted to play with. So I was already kind of isolating myself there. And then my personal shit that was going on. So that just further drove me into isolation. So for the most part, I just kind of turned inward, and I wasn't as loud or vocal or pushing on things that I thought that mattered in the community. And then obviously, you know, that flood of new streamers, new personalities, everybody's playing World. Oh, I've always loved Monster Hunter. I didn't like any of the games before, but I love this. So, you know, and that was like the common theme, and it was just like, fuck,
Destiny
like
players coming in.
It's kind of hard to compete with that, you know. It's hard to compete with people that are in a good space mentally, that are, you know, new, so everything is exciting and fun and loud. And you know, my life meanwhile is on fire and, you know, crumbling. So it's like, fuck, like maybe it's just time to step back.
Gotcha. So how are you doing now, though? You doing okay?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good check in.
I'm not trying to make you believe it, but I mean, but I'm enjoying it. Like I'm enjoying life, you know. It's not everything that I want it to be, but at the same time, you got to work towards it. So.
Rules. So you've been playing Rise a bit. Like I mean, we talked earlier. You haven't started the 3.0, but you did stream Rise on launch. And I mean, are you still playing it? I mean, or you just kind of like have it pushed off to the side because there's no new content coming out now?
It's a little backlogged. I mean, like I pick it up every once in a while, do a couple hunts, clear some stuff, and then put it down. So, I mean, I guess in that respects, I'm playing it very casually, and to me, that's okay because sometimes the content's not there or lacking, which no fault to Monster Hunter or Capcom, but I mean, they release things in a slowed pace that I think that people like us or people that are dedicated fans and loyal to the series. We play the game much faster than that.
Yeah, we kind of burn through it quickly.
We need content now. Like, all right, cool. I've beat this hurdle. Next hurdle. Wait, there isn't one. I gotta wait a couple months. Fuck it. I'm gonna go play something else.
Yeah,
that's the fucking truth.
Well, and that's the hard part when you're like your entire base is like focused on Monster Hunter, and like okay, now there's nothing to do.
Yeah,
like that. I get stuck in that a lot too, where it's like I have to pretend like I'm interested in the game to play it because I'm like I don't want to do anything right now, but I don't really have a choice.
Well, you know, Capcom right now, I think at some point, people start getting better at video games, and they because they get better, it shortens down everything. That's a common thing of how it works. Like, you know, Mario used to be a couple-hour video game. You know, now it's done in like 8 minutes or whatever when people just speed run it, however the hell that's played out now. Capcom, though, they know that you guys have been playing this game like this. Anytime I've ever heard anyone talk about Monster Hunter, they played it for 2,000 hours for whatever the iteration is. They absolutely love it. They've dug in all this time. There's no one who casually plays this game. Anybody who came over from the Pokemon community, and there was a shit ton of people, they absolutely ate this game up, and they stopped playing Pokemon for a while because of how fun it was with Rise coming out right now. So for Capcom to keep these same issues happening with like this content drought, you know, especially with what we see, like how easy it is for them to code in additional levels to things, whether it be tempered, whether it be a like they have.
I'm the only one drinking right now.
Well, I mean, I'm drinking full shots of fucking whiskey.
Go ahead.
Now,
sorry,
so
Jim.
You're drinking, so I'm with you.
I'll pour one. I'm not gonna look like a fucking bitch.
You got sippy stuff too.
I don't got no sippy stuff.
No, my brother's got his beer he can sip on.
Oh.
Yeah, I got beer and sake.
Yeah, anytime you hold up your thing, I'll fucking drink with you. I'm so invested in the conversations. I'm just trying to focus.
You were invested. You cut me off. I don't know what I was talking about. I was talking about
something about the Pokemon community and everyone
the
dumping
extremity of which Monster Hunter
hours.
players play Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Capcom should know that people eat up their content. Like, they should have a better plan out because of how easy it is for them to actually put new stuff out. They can release different tiers of monsters, different combinations of quests. We don't need anything new. We just need official combinations of like, hey, now you fight this and this in this area. Hey, now you fight this in this zone. And it's really not that difficult when you saw how fast it was on PC for people to create all their own missions. It can't be that hard if other coders are able to do it that quickly on like literally day one.
Well, no,
like,
and I just think Capcom's got a different mindset when it comes to like their Monster Hunter teams. They don't see the game the way we see the game. They just
they're fundamentally a Japanese corporation with a Japanese portrayal of their product. So they look at it as in like, all right, we're putting these monsters in it, which means that these are fan favorites, so they're just gonna love it, and they're gonna love it for this period of time, and then we're gonna do this for this period of time. And it's like this kind of like a legacy program that they approach their Monster Hunter games by. Whereas in the West, we're just like, I need content now, like something new,
gamers,
something
man.
exciting. Yeah,
but don't you think they're going to try to adapt? I mean, they want to make money, right? And they saw what they had with World. World was unlike any other launch they had. It was unlike any of the other launches that they ever had. And Rise, you know, was good, but it wasn't World good for, you know, obviously just the system.
They streamlined and they became more realistic. So I think that they finally found the right approach to appeal to the West, but we've never been their core audience, and I feel like we never really will be.
we won't. I don't think they care anything about the West.
But even casual people are eating the content faster than they ever did before. There are people who are advancing faster in like Rise than they did in World or any of the other iterations. I'm not saying Rise is easier.
When you lower the requirements to get through the line, then everybody gets through the line.
Well, I'm saying that's where we're at, though. And if the side effect is they're eating up the content faster, that means casual players will get to that plateau and they'll reach that point where they want to play something else. They don't have the investment of the nostalgia like people like you guys who've been playing this for that long who will do it. So from a marketing standpoint, that's what I'm trying to get at. I don't know why they're making those mistakes. They can do a slow faucet drip every single week, 2 weeks, whatever, instead of doing this, well, now we'll do a random thing at the end of the month. You might like this sticker-based thing that we're gonna give you, you know what I mean, for like the next 3 months that we got out. I mean, they could just add in tempered versions, Apex versions of literally almost any monster, because most of it is just stat adjustments. From the coding that we've seen, from all the leaks, it's mostly just stat adjustments. And I don't even know how many people would even care if there wasn't new move sets. You know what I mean? If things just went faster or quicker, whatever. It's not that difficult to give this game a lot longer and a lot broader longevity. I don't think it is.
I mean, it's not, but
I don't disagree with what you're saying. At the same time, and it's like a weird title that I gave myself a long time ago. It's just forecaster. It's like when you see this, when you see this, when you see this, you can predict that. You know what I mean?
Sure,
like
sure.
You see it coming down the line. When Capcom follows the same procedures over and over again, it's not that hard to say what the next game is going to be about and what it's going to have. So it's from a forecasting standpoint, the game is not changing enough in that regard that you're talking about, as far as how they're releasing content. However, they are streamlining the fighting. They're streamlining the less of preparation. It's not as archaic as it once was. It used to be like everything you spent like 30 minutes prepping for a fight for 5 minutes of terror. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that part's gone.
It's completely gone. So that's why it is more accessible to new players or casuals, if you want to put that connotation on.
Well, I mean, dude, think of in the old games how much time you spent gathering stuff and just prepping for the next hunt, not going into it. Like
Half the quest was spent not fighting the monster, realistic.
It's just getting shit. Well, and that's what I tell people. Like, I want the next Monster Hunter not to be like this. I want it to be slow as fuck. I want the whole experience. I want, you starting at a town and you have the big whole open map that you have to fucking get your ass to, track the monster by hand, find out where they are, set up your own camps, kill the monster, collect what parts you can fucking carry on your own, cart it back if you capture it, have to like go back to town to deliver the shit. I want the whole fucking experience to be slower and just take longer to do. I don't like just getting dropped.
Does that come with the VR headset where we get stuck in the game and then we die in the game and we die in real life?
Some people will.
Yeah.
But like, I want the game to slow down, because right now it's just, okay, we're dropping you in front of the monster, go, you'll die in like fucking 3 to 5 minutes, no problem, and then you just rinse and repeat. Like, it's gotten, like, over the course of the years, the games have gotten faster and faster and faster.
They got rid of that step program that existed. Like, it used to prep you and build you up
Freedom
to it.
Unite and all that stuff. Like, they need to just slow the game down.
Well, that was the complexities of landlocked combat. Now that we have verticality, and since we've had that, it's now you're fighting in a 4-dimensional space essentially. It's not just you versus me. It's like I can jump over you, I can go up high, I can jump off something. It's they need to speed up the combat to match that, and I think that it takes away from the game at times.
Yeah. Too much anime.
Well, the new patch just came out the other day. I know it's like up and down for whether people like it, dislike it. Fem, you're probably the one who's put in the most work. What are your thoughts on it, brother?
So a lot of people said that they didn't like 3.0 update because like the only new gear we got was Valstrax's gear, and like the other dragons got upgraded, but that's it. We didn't get any like Apex armors, nothing like that. And I can see why people don't like the 3.0 update, and being that there's nothing on the roadmap for the rest of the summer, I can see why people would be mad, because there's basically, now we're in this huge content drought until God knows when. But
80 days.
I actually don't dislike this patch, because they gave us a lot of fucking quests. Like you were mentioning earlier, they just gave us a bunch of like, okay, you fight these 2 monsters and then these 3 monsters. They gave us like 15 more quests just to do, and a lot of it is you're fighting 2 at a time because they come in and invade and all that shit. And I thought that was actually really cool. I mean, all I've ever wanted for like Rise specifically is just more shit to do. And because we don't have like an actual endgame system, we don't have guild quests, we don't have guided lands, we don't have investigations, temper monsters, frenzied monsters, hypers. We don't have any of that shit. The only thing they can actually give us is more quests. And they did, and they gave us a bunch of shit. And now all the Apexes are free of Rampage, because Rampage is fucking obliterated. And I actually like it, because all the quests are actually pretty fucking fun. And you know, it's worth a good, 10-15 hours of content going through all the new shit. And if you want to do the Rampage with them, fine, and get the new final boss fight and all this stuff. And I thought it was okay. So, I mean, a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was a pretty good patch. Because, I mean, all people want is power creep. They're like, oh, where's all my new weapons? Where's all my new armor? I want to have better shit. I'm like, we don't need better shit, dude. Fucking things are dying in 2 to 4 minutes anyways, regardless of weapon.
Yep. That's exactly how it is, man.
So, I mean, Jin, you haven't played 3.0 yet, have you?
I haven't done Valstrix or anything, but no. But I'm telling you, from everything I've seen only a few people not enjoy it. The general consensus with people liking it. But again, I think we were just talking about people churn through the content so fast. If they don't see a reward for, even doing it, they're going to lose interest real quick. And that's probably kind of where those negative connotations come in. I don't even know if it's not necessarily the gear, just a combination of when you have no gear plus the 90 days of whatever that they showcased in the update video that there's not coming there. Like, nothing on the horizon is a tough pill to swallow. You know what I mean? When you're trying to keep playing a video game.
Right. Well,
I have two things to put in there. One is a cautionary tale. Like, I feel like I see it down the pipeline, and the other one is just an actual gripe. I feel like I've spent as much money on the game, if not more, over on just the DLC currently.
You bought all the DLC?
I mean,
you're one of those.
Yes. I like collecting shit.
Okay,
so
fair enough. I mean, I bought the game 3 times. I put my money in too. So.
Yeah. Back here we got the Switch, the controller, the collectors, the fucking amiibos.
Yeah, I got the collectors.
I bought in the game multiple times over.
I downloaded it, so yeah, like I got a bunch of it too. But
yeah, I get that. But I mean, the DLC, I don't feel like it's not justifying. I like that you can buy things individually. I think that's smart, intelligent, great. That's probably the best approach they've had to their DLC to this date. But everything else, like when you're spending like $30 on DLC for a couple voices, a couple hats, and maybe something to put on your owl and your palico, it seems a little steep just thinking of it that way. Now, when you're buying like a full armor or something like that, yeah, I'll spend $1 or $2. That doesn't bother me. But when I'm spending like $30 for 2 things that I like and 10 things that don't make a fucking difference in the game, that's a little silly to me.
Now, do you think it would have been better if they did not include layered systems and then let you buy DLC for layered armors at like $1 a piece?
No more of that. No more.
That sounds like Destiny. It sounds like Bungie.
I think Bungie's a bit worse than that. Like,
yeah, they are.
I've been reading up on Destiny. So I used to play Destiny a bunch.
Season of the Splicers right now, so it's all about glams and transmog, and you were locked with X amount of times that you can change your gear, and then after that you could buy more on the market, which is really fucked. And then you spend like 10 to 20 hours just grinding to get the shit to transmog, 5-6 times, and then you're just out of luck, and then you got to do it all over again next week.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Shitting on Bungie's transmog, and I don't blame them. Like I said, I don't play Destiny anymore, but I used to. I just keep up with it because it's just a fucking roller coaster with Destiny. So I can't deal with it, man.
My other gripe. So work with me here for a second as I explain a scenario to you, and then prompt you with what I'm thinking. So with World. Base game World came out, was out for like a year. Then later on, when they pushed Iceborne, they gave you new gear that just completely stomped base World. They changed the mechanics of Clutch Claw.
Can I pause you for 1 second?
Okay.
The Behemoth gear was still fucking meta in Iceborne up until like we got Safi gear. Like you still were.
There's exceptions, but okay, for the most part, like I'm not saying that like, hey, this opinion is there's no other way to look at this. I'm saying that just looking at it from a veteran standpoint, from a player standpoint, even if you're just new to World, that first initial year was about learning world mechanics and world armors. When Iceborne dropped, Capcom abandoned that content by literally just giving you a free pass to just cruise through it. Not only did they do that, so in that first initial year with Monster Hunter World, you eventually worked up to like what was like Kulve, and that fight was relatively unique. You had to learn how to fight that fight a certain way.
I like the Kulve actually.
That fight compared to Master Rank Kulve was completely different, night and day. Learning that fight was vital to getting to that next step to where you could go further and do the elders and so on. When they dropped Iceborne, they got rid of that content. They killed Kulve. They killed the need to have gear of relevance. They killed the need to learn how to play the game. They just wanted you to rush to get to Iceborne so that you could get stomped there, as opposed to enjoying that. And even though, and that's more like a technological advance in gaming today, where past Monster Hunters didn't have those options. Like you still had to grind through that content.
Right. You play For You now. You got to go through fucking everything.
You gotta go through the stuff and earn your stripes to then play with your friends that are at that next level, essentially. Whereas we're kind of in a day and age where, all right, well the company said, here you go, fast track, here you go, easy, armor, here you go, weapon, go ahead and destroy everything, catch up to your friends, know nothing about the game. You're kind of like lowering the intelligence of the overall community in the process.
Yeah.
You're also pushing people out the door faster, because if they're not able to adhere to that, and then they like easy fucking wall. Like Monster Hunter, the series is built on hitting these milestone walls, bashing your head against it, breaking through, crawling through, bloodied and damaged, and then your next challenge. You're building yourself up. You're putting pride into something that you're doing. You're actually obtaining a skill and making use of it. Whereas, and I kind of see this fast-tracked concept of gaming approach towards Monster Hunter is sort of tainting and or possibly ruining the series in ways. And that's my potential gripe or like pipeline down the way, where it's like, if say a year and a half later we get into the next version of Rise, are they going to change Wirebug? Are they going to make other things? Are they going to change combat completely? Are they just going to give us an easy washover armor that's going to fix all our problems? Are we just going to try to drag as many people into this series as possible without preparing them, so that when they walk away, they say that they don't like Monster Hunter? You end up diminishing the value of something, and thus forth, I think you diminish the value for the people that stay.
That is a very interesting take, and I agree 100%, because while you're saying that, I have two things I wanted to mention. First off, when they brought out the Defender gear for Iceborne, if you didn't know, the Defender light bowgun was literally the best bowgun into Iceborne up until you got through Guided Lands to get the Nargacuga for Rapid Fire Pierce 2. That fucking bowgun shit on everything the game had to offer. You could fucking destroy stuff with that. Like, the Defender gear was insane. Really dumb.
There's always been mechanics like that in the game, like slime and certain weapons per each title.
Right, but I mean, as far as like the fast tracking goes, like they gave you this gear to get through base game to get into Iceborne, but even still, it was so fucking good that it was good all the way through Iceborne as well. So you didn't have to get new gear. And then also, we were talking about the whole like pride and accomplishments. Like, it just reminded me that I wasn't very good at Monster Hunter. Like, I started in 3U. I was shit. I got to like HR4 and gave up. And then on 4U, I really started to buckle down and learn it. And there were so many hurdles I had, like getting through my first Gore fight, getting through my first Tigrex fight, and stuff like that. And I felt so good actually getting through those fights. And I just realized that I don't get that same feeling anymore for Monster Hunter. Like, I don't fail a quest 2-3 times trying to learn a monster fight, and then I fucking do it. I'm like, oh my god, thank god I finally did it, 20 minutes later. Because you can just fucking steamroll through stuff. Yeah, I think Monster Hunter really lost that. It used to be almost akin. I know everyone fucking hates this comparison, but I used to originally think Monster Hunter as like Dark Souls, but bosses only. Because like in Dark Souls, like when you finally get through a boss, you're like, oh thank god. You feel that sigh of relief and that just the pride from doing it. And Monster Hunter was like that, but every fucking mission was like, okay, how do I tackle this thing? And trying to learn this fight and die and fail and then finally get through it. And then now it's just like, okay, I'll fucking crush them in a couple minutes, no problem. And nothing's really a challenge anymore, because they're just, again, trying to beeline you through the entire game to make it more accessible for everyone. And yeah, I don't know, they just really caught up to me as you were talking about it. And I was just like, oh man, I totally miss those times.
A lot of the series has that visual gimmick still of challenge, but when you get to the meat of it, like there's barely any meat on the bone anymore. Like that, and I understand that past tense, a lot of the difficulty came from the constraints of the equipment and the development of the game. So it was more about, okay, this is a janky control scheme. These are janky hitboxes because gaming's just not there yet. They're just not there yet. They're Monster Hunter as a series has always been a chase. So the people that are like console loyalists, I think is fucking asinine and silly, because it's like, if you really are a Monster Hunter fan, you know that not only do you have to, chase your ability, chase these goals in the game, but you also have to chase it between the different platforms. Like if you want to stay current, you're gonna have to buy a 3DS, you're gonna have to buy a PSP, you're gonna have to buy a Wii U, you're gonna have to buy this new system if you want to be a part of that moment of being there at the forefront and being like, dude, I remember when that game started. That was fucking badass. This was fun. We were all having fun. We were having a good time. I remember all these challenges that we had to go through just to get good. And then we thought we were good, and then they came out with more shit, and it was like, man, that was an amazing experience to be challenged by something. And I think that we just don't really have that anymore. We're not really challenged. It's still buy the merchandise, it's still buy the system, it's still put the time in, but it's not the same accomplishment anymore.
Do you remember when gathering halls were fun?
Okay, so try in my opinion is the last era of community in game. Everything since then has been just a wash. It's just been a pissing contest.
Because I thought for you, random gathering halls were really like a thing. Like, I had a lot of fun.
I mean, I feel like streaming was at its height then, and we had community in a social atmosphere, like via Twitch, or YouTube even. But I mean, like, that was like our height as community together then. And then I also view that as like our downfall as community then.
Social media happened basically.
Yeah, I mean, like, the early Monster Hunter took place without all those requirements. You had to communicate in game, you had to go on forums, you had to fight it out in a flame war, you had to argue your opinion. It required you to actually have some ability of speaking, to either shit talk somebody into shutting up, into arguing your point to where people agreed with you. Like, you really had to sell yourself in a different way. Monster Hunter now is just like, all right, input stream title, best longsword user, best this, number one.
I haven't seen that in a million times.
And I guess, and I see it as a joke, like, it's haha funny, and it's not always about taking things seriously, but at the same time, when you're constantly competing with that, it's kind of hard to find out, like, all right, who's actually good? Who's actually trying to teach something? Who cares about this and isn't just here for the numbers, the money,
or very few people
have a bigger opinion. Yeah. So I mean, like, when I think of community, the dirty C word, as I call it, like, I think of the
C word.
The dirty C word is community. That is, if I leave anything for you, please take that. Use that.
I'm gonna be using that for sure.
Give it wings.
The dirty C word.
Dirty C word. Because I mean, like, because everybody says it, but nobody fucking believes it anymore. That's my take on it. It's not like I'm trying to be,
well, because the community is shit.
It.
We talked about this earlier. Like, It's gone downhill so fucking hard now that everyone, like, all these big fucking names and streamers are like just in the Monster Hunter scene now, and like everyone has something to say, and it's all my army versus your army now kind of thing.
Well, community is now very much my channel. Anybody that follows my doctrine, my beliefs, my way of playing, that's what community is. And when I see a community, it's like, you got all these groups on Facebook that nobody listens to? Yeah, there's a good reason why we don't, but that's still part of the community. You got all these groups on forums. They have nothing good to say, but that's still part of the fucking community. So when I'm talking about like forecasting and predicting where the game is going and what we're about as a whole, I'm looking at all these different parts, these segmented environments, and going like, man, everybody's unhappy over here, everybody's stupid over here, everybody's complaining over here, everybody is following 1, 2, 3 persons here, and that's what the Monster Hunter community is. So we can't sit here and just say that, like, oh, it's good, I'm working out today, I'm having a great day, I'm living my best life. It's a very Instagram approach of just like, I want to sell myself as something good and happy, and there's nothing else to talk about. And I think discussion's important. Otherwise, if you're painting discussion as negative, then nothing ever grows or comes good of it. So we're just kind of trapped in like this.
Well, and that's the problem I have with the whole community aspect, where everyone's community is literally just their Discord with their followers that believe everything they say. And then I posted about this a while back. It's just everyone just gets stuck in an echo chamber wherever they're at. and it's not good.
Social
for
climbers and outliers.
Yeah, basically. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a shame, and also just you can't ever speak out because it seems like everyone's, my community's right, and if you say anything bad, then you're attacking everyone on my side, and then it's just.
Well, here's a good way of phrasing it. So I think that you and we have hater energy, but we're not haters. You know what I mean? Like that's like we can shit on something, but we're giving it a valid opinion. We're trying to be constructive here.
I think that's
it's like you kind of have to tear something down to rebuild from it. Jid, you're eating that up over there. I can see that.
Yeah.
Do you?
I can tell you right now, I can tell you 100%. Fem definitely has hater energy. I can't go deeper than that. I'll leave it. But when you say he's got a little hater enery in there,
maybe we're not the most fucking likable people. Maybe we concentrate on some negative things, but. I think at the end of the day, the intent is always good, and people don't see that.
Well, that's the problem with the whole social media thing now, is the intent is good. People who are passionate about it, about anything, see flaws in their passion, and because you want to improve it, you want to make things better. But people who aren't like in that same sphere as you see it as, oh, you're just talking negative. You're just a negative person. You
didn't make it, so you're going to take everybody else down.
Exactly.
You didn't do this. You're not doing what they're doing, so you must be, you must hate them, and you must not be good.
Exactly, and that's what I hate. I hate people who can't say anything negative, who are only focused on about positivity, and only can say good things about stuff, and can't shed any bad light on anything, because that's not reality. Like, you can have negative thoughts and opinions and come from a good place.
But that comes into that whole like you're being too serious. It's just a game. Like I've heard that like it is just a fucking game, but it's also my hobby. It's also my passion. I've also committed half my life to it, to other people in it, to the idea of it growing. It's not that I'm like I've spent 17 years of my life, fam, and all I want to do is be famous in Monster. I just want people to respect me. No, I spent 17 years of my life playing a game for my friends, with my friends, for other people. When I see things that are wrong, I want to do something about it. When people are getting shit on, I want to stand up for them. Mm-hmm. When the game is going sour, I want to say something because I feel like I'm obligated. I'm the old guard. If anybody should be saying something about what's wrong, it's somebody that's been here, somebody that's seen it go both ways, and can say, we've made those mistakes already. Can we do better? Mm-hmm. Like that's all I'm trying to fucking offer up.
Yeah, and I hate when people have that stigma of like, oh, you spent that much time and you care that much about a video game, you must have no life. It's like, well, other people do that shit for like fucking bird watching and making tree houses and fucking building gardens. Like, it's the same fucking shit. Everyone has something that they fucking like.
If you can make money off of it, it's a job and it's a profession, then you should take it serious. You should be care. You should care about what you're doing.
Even if it's something you enjoy, you should take it seriously.
You do your hobbies how you do everything else in your life. If you treat your hobbies like sloppy fucking shit, you're probably a fucking slob in real life too. That's the reality of it, dude.
That's actually true.
Like, I don't care what anybody says. If you play video games, you put passion in them. You probably put passion into stuff in your life, and you probably look at things and you find a deeper meaning and a motivation to get some stuff done. If you're one of those sloppy, angry people all the time in a video game, 10 times out of 10, you're one of them sloppy, angry people in real life, man. That's it. Like, that's it. That's what I've seen over the course of, however many different video game series. That's been the common factor, unfortunately.
I don't think everybody needs to adhere to a strict line and go only that direction. I don't think the community has to be only this one thing. I think it can be everything, but I still think that we should work towards something better. No, go ahead.
I was just to say, I like that part of the community because I watch a lot of Monster Hunter like streamers and Twitch people and stuff that aren't in the same boat as like me and a bunch of people who do like speedruns and play super hardcore and all that stuff. I like watching a lot of like the more casual audience because they actually have fun with the game and they see it in a completely different light, and like they still have criticisms and they can still point out stuff, but it's breathtaking from me to see people actually enjoy the game and have the exact same thoughts I have about the game. When people shit on me for being negative, but these people who are just like, who just say it in a different way, have the exact same fucking thought, and then it's viewed totally differently. So it's just fun watching that.
I mean, I'm not in your circle, but I'm in your circle, so I get it.
I mean, you are, kinda. I mean, you don't have to be a fucking speedrunner to play the game seriously and to want like serious changes and to think about it critically and stuff like that.
I mean, I backed off from speedrunning, but I mean that is my
Did
my
you used to
origin.
do that back in the day?
Speed hunters was the thing, man. The first speed hunter, Esco. The first challenger, the first person to fight him on it was me. So I mean, we devised our own plans. In many ways, I feel like the player history of this game goes unknown and uncared for. Like, we had our first authorator, scrivener. We had somebody before Kogath. We had people that were artists. We had people that were musicians. We had people that were speedrunners. We have our legends in this series that people just don't know about. People don't care about.
Where that guy been?
Yeah. Cannihilation, Esco, Jehute, fucking King Cut. There's numerous people out there. Third, Zahuli, RMR, Blackwings, the old shitters, the sickness, Moises L.
I want that to be my Twitch name.
All these people,
the old shitters.
Yeah, all these people that, you know, they were the first villains. They were the first heroes. Like, nobody knows about these people. I fucking know about these people. I played with these people. I came up with these people. I feel like I'm one of the few that learned how to adapt and stayed with the series because I cared about it.
So, do you plan at any time coming back to like full-time, well, I mean, not even full-time, but like streaming Monster Hunter and getting back into
being social and
yeah, like getting back in there? I mean, I know you had your bout and, you know, a lot of team crap happened, a lot of drama and stuff. I gotta say, Jin and I have a really fun Discord full of hardcore shitters. You want to
old shitters,
a bunch of old shitters. Jin, could we just change the Discord name? No gods, no kings, old shitters. No.
I love our Discord the way it is, man. It's the only Discord where like it's not an echo chamber. It's the only one I've been to, and it took a long time and years to get it, where everyone has a million different opinions and they're always going at each other. Always. Like every channel. Like every channel has like everything on. It's like, and it's good wholesome talk. We can drink. I can drink. I've been drinking.
That's the best part about the Discord, is that it's just people like correcting each other and shitting on each other, and nothing about it is like malice or spiteful or anything. It's all about trying to get people to improve and do better.
Yeah, and if you got thick skin, you're fine. You get that. Just telling you how to be better. Cheers. He's got his. Make sure we plug the Discord right there too. Boom.
Oh yeah, I should put that up on the thing when I do the edit.
Yeah. Well, getting back to Monster Hunter 2, so with 3.0, we finally got the end boss fights of Narwa. I'm sure we can talk about spoilers. Shouldn't be too much of a problem here. Not really any surprise what happens with those two. Fem, you know, you're the one who put in the most experience there. How did you like the new additional component at the end there when they kind of do their thing?
So I thought it was weird that they, after 2 months, they came out with another ending to the game. Like, it was really weird because like when the Ferraris first came out, Narwa just falls into a pit and that's it, and then it you know, game over. We all knew that wasn't the end, but then they came out with this new ending, and it's literally, rather than fight Narwa, you fight Ibushi, who has no life, does no fucking damage. Even as a gunner, I take like 1/8 of my life on a hit. It's fucking nothing. It hits like wet paper, and it dies in 2 seconds. And then you just basically fight Narwa with a couple new attacks afterwards. And then you get an Elder Dragon. 90% of the time it's Magnamalo to invade, just to get wire bugged, so you can use the game mechanic to fight against Narwa. And then that's the fight. And I thought it was kind of weird that they included that. Like, I don't understand why they would change the ending and why it mattered, because they didn't. Fucking Monster Hunter's not meant for its story, but they didn't explain anything really.
For You was amazing in story, man.
Okay,
I still
fair.
believe that
For
was
You had
probably
a
one
story.
of the best entries.
For You was
because
fucking
of story.
amazing. Yeah, like I loved following around the Caravaner. The characters were all there. You had all the ace people with you, and you had the Caravaneer, who's basically Old Man JoJo. For You is fucking awesome. Everything about For You was good. But I don't know, I just thought it was weird that they did the whole Narwa change in Rise, and I don't particularly care for the fight, but it's not a bad fight. People just got Narwa because you had a.
I think if Handler was down in that pit, just like her mummified remains, just like what is it, the Indiana Jones Lost Ark movie, just absorbed. That would be the best.
Dude,
then I'd
why
be
do people ever hate Handler? I don't
fucking hate Handler.
I'm like neutral. I don't hate Handler, but I'm not exactly in love with Handler, so I don't know why people hate it so much.
I'm not saying Team Marm. I'm just saying fuck Handler.
You're not Team Marm? I'm Team Marm.
I'm just saying fuck Handler.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, speaking of final boss fights, so what is your favorite final boss fight since you've been a veteran around these parks? Toxic veteran, you?
That's me. Fuck, dude. I don't know. There's so many. Like, pick one. It does. Every new big boss fight, that's my favorite boss fight. Like, except for going current with Fiber Generation.
Okay.
Like, I didn't think that much of Zora, and I didn't think that much of
Zora.
I actually really enjoyed Safi. I like Safi's design. I was really hoping that they were gonna go a different direction, where like you kill Safi, and then there's just this hateful bitch just turns into a husk, and that becomes Fatalis. I could have seen that happening. That would have been nice. But other than that, I mean, I really love Safi. Yeah. I like the design. I like the fight. I like the music. I thought that was nicely put together. Different phases. That was different. But I mean, Kulve was okay. Not phenomenal, but it was an interesting and good fight with a different
locale.
Here's
the thing about Kulve. I thought Kulve was a great fight, especially mastering Kulve.
It was cheapened because we could never kill her.
Right. It was. But I thought the fight itself was good. The problem is the same as like fucking Narwa and a lot of these other fights where people having to grind them hundreds and hundreds of times for RNG gear, fighting the same one fight over and over and over. Of course, everyone's gonna hate the fight. Nobody liked Cole because you had to fight her 7,000 times.
Whereas like, orbs on Ibushi Rampage.
Yeah, or like, but also like, you know, before 2.0,
that
was the only way to get charms and stuff too. Is you had to fight Narwa over and over and over again. It's like, of course people are gonna hate that shit. I don't know why Capcom keeps bringing out boss fights where you have to fight them constantly. You know, you could have had guild quests where you can fight whatever you want, and then go get your gear that way. But
I wish they would have given us Amatsu. I think that would have been.
And Metsu Megasuchi would have been really cool too.
A good throwback. Yeah.
My favorite final boss fight though, I think is gonna be Nakarkos. I really like.
That wasn't a bad fight.
I like this
it was
G-rank version more than the base game, obviously, because you get to skip the whole boring phase. But I thought he was really cool because I've always wanted like a Hydra monster, and he's the closest we got to like a Hydra. And he's just really fun. I really like him.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I enjoyed Gog Mazios going back to 4U and stuff, but
everyone likes Gog. I'm the only person that seems like it doesn't like Gog.
I'm not saying it's the best fight. I'm just saying I enjoyed it.
He just felt too big. Like he had like normal attacks, but he was just big.
After years of slow lumbering fucking bullshit, that was a nice fight.
Fair. What else we got? So one thing I wanted to talk about in Rise. So with them giving like all the Apex monsters their own quests and whatnot, basically they've completely obliterated any use for the Rampage. Nobody needs to do it at all anymore. It's kind of what they did with Iceborne with the Guided Lands. Like they had it and then they completely made it obsolete, and so there's no point. Like, why do they keep doing that shit? And like, what other NEM system do you think they could have done to be better? Why even make it in the first place if they were just gonna make it obsolete?
I don't know why they did it twice, dude. That's weird. Like, it's got to be like a supposed grind, but you don't have to grind it. Like you just talked about. Like you're gonna fight the stuff. You know what it is? I think it is. It's an easier way for like someone who's not as good to do it, right? Isn't that how I would look at that? Because Rampage, you can kind of just click stuff and shoot stuff, and usually it's a lot easier than like fighting the monster to like get stuff. So maybe that's why like it's more accessible for people. Because like you're right, like you wouldn't do it. You would do it in the regular iteration of it. You wouldn't do the Rampage mode. So I think outside of the ease of it, I think that would probably be why, right? Like I think that's it. Right, Rampage is easier.
I view it as like a block of content that's never like fully visualized. It's almost like they had an idea and they're like, oh man, that'd be really fun. You know, like people will be locked in this shit for hours. But they never get past that hurdle. Like,
well, like all of Rise is based on the Rampage, and they don't explain any of it, and it's boring as fuck. And it's not like anything special. There's only like a couple Rampage quests. And it's like I don't know why.
They say at the beginning, man. It's in the cutscenes. Come on.
I mean, I guess, but they don't even explain why the Rampage is even a thing. You have to go on the wiki and look up why Ibushi and Narwa caused the Rampage.
Mm.
Fun times. I don't know. I just thought it was weird that they keep bringing out these systems that they're just like half baked, and then they don't follow through with. Like, as much as people don't like World, first off, base game World was fucking awesome. I don't care what anyone says.
But it was new, it was fun, it was different, it was very polished. I mean, the game's polished. Don't get me wrong. I think visually,
Iceborne sucked. World was great.
Yeah, it was amazing.
World added a map and some crazy shenanigans that happened in it.
It's a totally different game. It's a step forward. But like World had like investigations.
The weakness exploit, clutch claw problem. That's what killed that.
Yeah.
Dead in the water. Like if they had taken that, if they had given you more mobility with that clutch claw, but not put the primary focus on weakness exploit from using it, fights would have progressed very differently. I think you could have had very different experiences with monsters.
Right. Well, because the entire game was based around, okay, this monster's got really bad hit zones, but it's good if you use the clutch claw, which we gave you. So it was always like they implemented a problem just so you can use the game mechanic to get back to a normal state, kind of like what they do with Gunlance every time. And then also with that, like, the clutch claw just didn't work. Like, all the time you would attach to the wrong part, you would get thrown off because the monster was poking, you know, part of its body out of bounds, or it just fucking wouldn't wall bang, stuff like that. Like, it didn't work, and they never fixed it. So it's like people were frustrated with that. The game was so centralizing around clutch claw and having to tenderize, and then having to keep up tenderizing when none of the wall bangs and none of that shit ever worked properly.
They should have just made clutch claw the 15th weapon.
Okay. Sidestep. Here's the thing I wanted with the 15 weapon with the slinger that they added. Hear me out. So you have a slinger arm, so you can shoot like items and shit with it, like you can, like your pods and your whatever. And it's like a little crossbow basically for your arm. So you take a charge blade sword, just the sword. So you have a sword that you can swing at melee range and charge it up, whatever. And then rather than load files into like your shield like a charge blade does, you load files into your slinger. And then you can back off and shoot fucking files, or clutch claw to the monster and eject all your files like a wall bang thing where it ejects your slinger ammo into the monster.
What are you talking about, man? What is this?
So it's like a sword and slinger.
Fam, bro, you've been drinking, bro. What you wanted them to call in a new weapon?
So instead of a SNIS or a GIS or a LIS, it's you got a SIS?
Yeah, basically.
Nice.
Oh my
we got
God.
the SS, which everyone loved, right?
That's I could see that going very wrong.
Gonna be cutting that one out there in 3, 2, 1. Cut that joke, and we're back. Okay, so getting on here. Apex armors when, and how come we don't have an end game system yet, guys? That's the real question here. We don't have deviants, we don't have tempered, we don't have investigations of the high level. What are we looking at? You think 90 days from now, probably when they get the next big thing out?
Brother?
We didn't see any of it in the.
Thoughts?
We didn't see any of it.
No? Okay. Well, I guess I'll go.
All right.
I don't think we're going to see anything like significant changes until after PC release, which is next year. And then they're probably going to announce like the G-Rank version like a month after PC gets released. I don't think we're going to get any sort of like endgame grind, endgame monster system like we had in the previous games. I think the way Rise is and the way it was developed, I mean, this is just the game.
Dude, I swear you said Jew-ranked version. That's how it sounded in my headset. Oh my god. Oh,
I did
my
not
god.
say that, Jen, but I know why you would think that.
We have to cut so much. So much of this has to be cut. Okay.
No.
Don't cut any of it. I think the low-lying fruit is entertaining.
Jin is such a fucking stickler with cutting content. Like every time you say anything bad, like, Jin wants to cut it.
Oh yeah. We gotta cut it. We gotta cut it.
Raw, dude, raw.
No, we can't. We always have to
Well,
make
I
some
can't
edits.
say SS on YouTube.
Cannot
I
say
could be
SS on
naming
YouTube.
a fucking boat.
You're not though.
You don't know that.
He's
All I said
talking
was
about a weapon.
SS.
Let's not fight the algorithm. Let's not dig that hole. Let's not dig that hole. Let's just avoid it, huh? Let's just keep the channel going. Not have any problem.
Can I get a raw version? Can I have an uncut?
Yeah, you can have a raw version. I'll
Can I have an MTV unplugged?
That's fine.
There you go. You think you know, but you have no idea. That kind of stuff. This is the true story of.
I'll be like, I was there, and they were saying all this shit.
Let's
Yeah, you can bring it up.
let's pound another drink really quick, and then brother, if you want
That's
to
more
add
shit
stuff,
for me to hold on to.
yeah, if you want to add stuff before we jump into stories 2 talk, we could do that, and then drink beforehand. Though.
I mean, I don't really know what to add, man. I mean,
Oh, we talked like for an hour last night. We got a lot of shit we can add.
True. I mean, well, do you want to talk about the championships and all that
If
shit?
you want, like, just get that shit out
I
there.
mean, I was saving that for my interview exclusive with you on whatever the side whenever I pull my head out of my own
Oh,
ass.
do you want to do that shit? I mean, that's okay.
No.
Stick to what we got. We got stories. Save that for when you guys got that. We got story stuff to talk about.
That championship was a clusterfuck. I'll tell you.
I think we should talk about it, but I mean,
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
I'll let you start, man.
I don't even know how to start that. Other than like, I mean, I told you, what was it, last night? No bad feelings, no anger, no nothing. It's just this is what I saw, and I was thrown for a loop by it.
Yeah. So what Virtue's talking about? If anyone saw the 2018 World Championships with me, TSC, brother, Omnito, TS or Shepard, all that stuff, I was a huge dick through the whole thing, like the whole thing, like even outside the cameras.
I mean, last night you told me that you didn't know the devs were there, and like I went into it knowing they were gonna be there.
I didn't know
like,
anyone was gonna. I had no plans, and
yeah.
So I wasn't even planning on going until like a couple days prior when I just asked TSC if he wanted to go. And so,
but weren't you training for like 4 fucking weeks? Me and Omni only got like maybe 2 sessions in, and I had to train other people to fucking help me get ready.
Yeah, so because I don't play Switch Axe, I'm obviously a gunner main, so I had to learn Switch Axe. I was practicing with Switch Axe and stuff, just because it was a thing, and it was in San Francisco. It was like fucking 20 minutes down the road for me, but I didn't have a partner for like the longest time. I was just doing it to do it. I was just gonna, show up and maybe grab a partner on the way there. I didn't know TSC was gonna fly down until like a few days prior. So
from my standpoint, it was this big old Rocky and Dolph Lundgren shit going on between you and Shep. And it's just like, oh, okay. And then I was like, well, I guess throw my hat in.
I didn't even know who Shep was at all. Not until I came back, and then I saw him streaming. I had no idea who Shep was at all. Just me being oblivious me. I didn't know the devs were gonna be there. I didn't know who Shep was. I didn't know anything. I was just going in to fight Nerg with TSC. And so, first off, it was a rough start to the day because me and TSC were up to like 2 a.m. at the hotel room practicing our runs, and we got it down to like consistent sub 230. We're on like 218 was our best. Like we're doing hella good. And then we're super tired, and we got to the tournament, and the whole thing is just horribly organized in my mind because like we had to do like the Puke arena, which is fine. We got that down in a minute. And
over here, work on these machines, do your thing, get your name put in.
Weird. And we had no practice or nothing, and it was like they didn't have any practice booths. They didn't have anything that's supposed to do. Just wait for your name to get called, kind of thing. And so me and TSC did the Puke arena, and we were slower than our standard run time because for whatever reason I kept sheathing my bowgun during this arena, and I didn't know why.
What did you place? What
we got first.
Position did you place that?
We got first.
Oh, okay.
But we should have had a better time, but it was still bad. That's just how the way me and TSC
That's just like perfectionist you.
Yeah, exactly. And so I couldn't understand why I kept sheathing my bowgun because they only give you like 30 seconds to change your options. Like here, you can go into this quest, change your options, and you have to back out. And
they were very stringent on how, like you don't touch it, don't look at it, don't nothing. Go.
Until we say it. Yeah, until we say it. It was really oddly paced. And so I missed the option where pushing R3 sheaths your weapon. And I didn't understand that at all. So me being frantic, me pushing R3.
The first thing I did was turned off auto sheath.
Yeah, I turned off auto sheath because that's the R1, sheath only on R1, but R3 to sheath was a different option. And so I didn't push that on because flipping through options for 30 seconds, you don't have a whole lot of stuff to change. And so it was throwing me for a loop. And so after like the first Puke run, there was like a 4-hour gap between that and our Nergigante fight. And the whole time I was like, what the fuck did I do wrong? Why did I keep sheathing my bowgun? That doesn't seem right. And then while they're putting in like all the times on this fucking Sharpie whiteboard, like none of our time wasn't coming up. I'm like, well, we probably beat them. There's no way. We got like a minute flat. Like everyone was placing, minute 40, minute 30, stuff like that. And they wrote down our name wrong, and so I kept having to ask them, hey, where's our team? Why aren't we up there? And they didn't know who we were or whatever, and they just kept saying, don't worry about it. And up until like 20 minutes before the Nergigante runs, I'm like, dude, we beat those people. I talked to them. I know what their times are. We had a better time than they did. And they wrote down our time as another team's time who was on first place. And so the whole time I was freaking out, like, why isn't our time up there? And why isn't our team up there? And why was I sheathing my bowgun? So I was just frustrated for like 4 fucking hours. And while they sat us down and said, hey, wait for your turn.
Yeah, see, I didn't have any of that context. So like you were that guy that was in the crowd of people that were waiting, and you're just like, our name is fucking Nerf CB. Like, what the fuck? Like, and that was essentially you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, who the fuck? Like, the devs are here, the CMs are right over there. Like, I'm here to perform and be professional, be humble. Like, all right, cool. Like, I'm gonna have a moment to get my shit signed. I'm gonna have a moment to go up there and put on a good show. And like, I know my friends are watching, people are streaming, and all this other shit. So I feel like there was very much like 3 different perspectives going on that I was aware of at all times, where it was just like, okay, here's Fem, this guy I don't know, but I've like heard about very briefly, and it's just like some shit talk and banter over on Shep's side. And then it's like me and Omni, and I'm just like, all right, I gotta do my thing. I'm gonna go out there. Like, I'm old school, and I'm not here to really like to be the best, but like I want to show that I still got it. Mm-hmm. And then then here's Shep, who's just like, they're very much like, I don't want to say full of themselves, but just very much like on this like, this is what speedrunning is, and this is what it's always going to be, and like, and I'm a speedrunner, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Shep is always like that.
Yeah, and I thought it was weird too that all of his team, like, I feel like if anything, his team under, like, not Shep and Sam, but the whole Social Dissonance crew, right? Am I saying that correctly? Is that the name of the team? Like, all of them chose these other weapons to showcase them, but part of me always feels like, why would you intentionally do worse? You know what I mean? Like, it was almost kind of like to elevate. It was almost to like elevate Shep, and it's not shit talk as much as it's just like a genuine like curiosity. Like, okay, but why did they do that? Like, if they were able to perform on the same level, then why not perform on that level?
Right.
Yeah, there was times there where me and Omni were very indecisive because I had practiced switch axe. I'd practiced switch axe, and what was it? What was the other option? Was it switch axe lance?
Switch axe lance. Yeah, lance was a really good option for that fight.
And Omni and I separately had practiced SNS and SNS.
Double SNS was a crazy run.
And I wanted, and there was part of me that was like, I want to go up there and like throw down SNS, because I'd really, and like I said, I trained 3 other fucking people to get up to sub 3s every time. And that was frustrating because me and Omni only trained twice, and I'd only been training 2 weeks before it. So I felt like I was very much in an underdog situation where like, you guys have been practicing for like the full duration of knowing since it came out.
Oh, see, I was not like that.
Oh, okay. I literally thought you had been going for 4 weeks, and I thought that Shep's team has been going for 4 weeks. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I am out of my league here in the sense of like, I don't have the preparation. And also just me and Omni didn't have any matchup times. Like, we literally practiced 2 times for like 2 hours, and it was really hard to find like our rhythm with one another, play style. And I think when we went up there, we performed well enough.
I think you guys got 3rd place by close margin. I think it was like 3 minutes or something, 3 something.
We were like 30 or 40 seconds behind like whatever team 2 or team 1 was. So I mean, like, we were on your guys' tail, and they also took away all the prizes for 3rd place, so they didn't even give us anything originally.
Right. So, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna continue on. So like, the whole day I had a chip on my shoulder. Not only did I had like no sleep, but also I was frustrated that they weren't recording times properly. Our team wasn't up on the board, and I didn't know
your name wasn't being said correctly.
Yeah, like, it was a whole bunch of shit so like, anyone that talked to me that day, I was probably a huge dick towards, and I don't like, that day is gonna live with me for fucking ever. And of course I didn't go in knowing that the community managers were gonna be there, or the devs and producers were gonna be there. I was just there to fucking play. And so when we got up to our Nerg run, same thing fucking happened. I went through all the options because he gave you fucking 30 seconds to do it, and then I did the same stuff. And then of course in the middle of the run, I sheath my switch axe, and then I keep sheathing my switch axe as I'm swinging, because me and TSC had this rhythm down fucking perfectly, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on. because they don't give you any time to do your fucking option checks. And so we ended up getting second because I blew the whole fucking run for us, and I ruined it, and I feel like I let TSC down. So I was really mad at myself. And so they gave us like the second place trophy, and I immediately discarded it. Like, I handed it back to someone behind me. I was like, who wants this? Because I don't want to do anything to deal. Yeah, that fucking jersey, nice. Like, I have such hatred, and I'm such a perfectionist that I didn't want anything to remind me of that day and that failure that I did because I didn't change a fucking option setting, that I ejected the trophy, and then it was just all salt from there on out. And like, I met with the devs, and I handshook them and talked to them, and I was just bitter the entire fucking time because I messed up, and I hate when I mess up because it was my fault. And so yeah, it was a rough day for me. It was a real rough day.
Yeah. See, I always knew that there was like a human element there, but I mean, being there, it was like they called up winners, and you were just like kind of mouthing off in a corner, reluctant to go up. They gave you a trophy. You're like, I think you literally said, "I don't want this," and then at one point, yeah, and at one point you were like, "Fuck it, I don't need this." And someone from Shep's team, the girl that was there that was running Lance. She was like, I'll take it. And you literally just like handed it off over your shoulder. You turned around and left. And I was just like, oh, like, yeah. I don't know what kind of day you're having, but fuck.
It was a long day.
Intense to watch. Just
it was
like,
dude,
spectating.
It was a long day for me. And then, so the bad part is why I'm sure Shepard hates me, is that afterwards, like, Shepard's team and everyone was supposed to get drinks and stuff with TSC and whatever, but TSC drove me there from the hotel room that we were practicing in, and I was like, fuck it, I don't want anything to do with that, just take me back to the hotel so I can drive home. And I immediately beelined it out of there, and I was just hating myself all weekend. So yeah, it was a fun fucking weekend, and I will never forget it.
See, I always knew there was more to it, and I always wanted to know, but it wasn't something like, obviously this is the first time that I'm ever talking about this to anybody, vocally, out loud, that, you know, will be recorded and other people will see and have their own fucking opinions.
Yeah, 3 years later.
Yeah, but I mean, like, and that's, subsequently, that's who I am in Monster Hunter, is I have all this dirt on everybody and all these moments and all this bullshit. I just never say anything.
The only thing I kept from that tournament is the picture of me and TSC and Lily. Because
is that who that is, Lily?
Yeah, that's TSC's girlfriend, but I think they're engaged now. But
okay, there was a part early in that championship where she came up to me, Omni, and somebody else, and was just like very, very friendly, and it felt like, you know, like when a stranger just walks up to you and is suddenly nice, and you're like,
yeah, it's
I don't know.
Sus.
Yeah, like, it's like, I came here to compete, like, you know what I mean? And it was just really weird to me. And then later on to find out that she was with TSC, and I didn't know if that was his girlfriend or not. And I was just like, the whole time, like, the everything was painted very differently than what it was. You know what I mean? Like,
it was a weird tournament.
It just didn't have all the facts. Yeah, it was very strange. It was like, I don't know. Yeah, I think I had a couple moments there that were both humbling and very bizarre to me. So
if I offended anyone at the tournament, yeah, you have a right to be offended. I was a huge dick at that tournament. It was a rough day for me. So yeah, that shit happens.
Yeah, okay. that was the thing. We were there. We were people.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be more. You guys can act fool even more.
Well, and so I didn't go to the second tournament for Iceborne. That was out in Boston, only because like TSC asked me to go, and you can run heavy bowgun versus it, which would have been fucking perfect for me. Because I think it was against.
Was that the one that Herney and TDS Chris hosted?
Yeah, that they hosted.
You know, I have nothing personal against Herney, and I have nothing personal against TDS, but I'm not. I always thought that was weird that we got this very mainstream jargon of speedrunning portrayed there, when in fact, like, I didn't think it was necessary. It was almost kind of like a turnoff to me.
To be fair, it's probably better than any other commentary they could have gotten. Like, who else would they have gotten to do any sort of commentary?
That's the thing, is it's hard to. it's hard to say who you should listen to or who's worth a damn in this goddamn community.
No one,
So-
basically.
Yeah, we're all relatively at the same pecking order, just shitting on each other.
Yeah.
But acting friendly in the process.
See, that's the thing I don't like. The whole pretending to be friendly.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I tell people all the time, like, it's okay to hate people. Like, you don't have to like everyone. You don't have to like me.
hater energy without hating.
Exactly. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I know, like, who does another bowgun runner, and all his audience absolutely hate my guts. Probably because I know it was because I was running World when he was still running GU, and he's like, "Oh, GU's an actual game, and World's not a real Monster Hunter game." Blah 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 blah. And so he was just hating on me a bunch, and so that's fine.
Who?
My LBG, who does bowgun runs as well. Yeah.
I've fallen off the map, man, and I stopped caring. Like, I used to try to find out like who's all these streamers, and I'm gonna be in all their channels, and who's doing what, and who uses what weapon, and let me try to find a way to work something to, you know. I stopped doing that.
It's fine.
Go.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, a lot of people don't like me, and that's fine. I don't care if you don't like me. You don't have to like me. Everyone can have their own fucking opinions. I don't like this whole, like, social community aspect where, like, everyone has to be positive and everyone has to have to say nice things and stuff like that. Like,
What was that shit with Paradise recently?
Oh, so Paradise and and Eric's had come into the Monster Hunter Gathering Hall Discord, which is like, it's like a 7-year-old server at this point. Well, maybe it's 6, but it's a really old Monster Hunter Discord that's got like 100 and some thousand people on it. And then it was really weird timing because they came in at like 3.
Who shot first?
They did. So it was
Okay.
3:15 a.m. they joined the server. I'm a mod there. I could check the logs when they joined. And then they specifically found a post from Titus, who's another bow content creator, who posted something that said, like, "Oh, their bow video is shit. I haven't watched it, but I'm sure it's shit." A week prior to them joining, so I'm sure someone told them about it, or, you know, whatever, and then, or they looked up their name, Eric's, in the Discord, and then posted on Twitter like 30 minutes later, "Oh my god, I can't believe this community, and then this person said something bad about us, and we should be better than this," and stuff like that, and posted like Titus's name and stuff and everything, like no censoring or whatever. And so just totally like put their whole army against Titus, just out of nowhere. And then so I chimed in, and I was just like, "Oh my god, could you imagine like joining a Discord 7 years old and then searching your own name for a post that's a week old, and then posting it on Twitter, trying to send your entire hate army against one person who had something negative to say about you?" And then that whole started a whole bunch of shit. And I was just like, I'm tired of that shit. Why can't someone not like you? I don't get it. Like, just let people have their opinions, man. So
I think you can like Monster Hunter, but you don't have to be friends with.
yeah, like, you don't have to. It's fine. Like, and I talked to like 269, who's on the Eric's team and stuff, and so like the whole Eric's Paradise and 269 thing. I don't care. Like, you can say shit, but just let other people say shit. You don't have to have everyone liking you. It just feels weird that they purposely joined a community that's well established, 7 years in, and then either Googled their name or went in knowing that someone said shit about them just to put it on Twitter, just to blast someone who is an up-and-coming like YouTube content creator and stuff. Like, Titus makes good videos. He's a really fucking good.
That was all
player.
orchestrated. That was all orchestrated, bro.
It was 100% orchestrated.
Bro. Come on.
But it's like they did all that. Like,
that was a cloud grab. That was a cloud grab late at night. That was a
but
cloud
that's
grab.
the problem with Monster Hunter
100%.
nowadays, is that there's more value in drama than there is in the actual game, because
the game ain't
nothing's
doing
going
shit.
on in the Monster Hunter right now.
Everybody wanted
It's just
a lot
how
more
it
views.
is. But like,
Yeah.
I talked to 269 and stuff, and like, I'm totally fine with everything. I don't hate people just because they do shit like that. Everyone can have their opinion. I don't care. I just had to voice my opinion because they came on the Discord that I moderate, saying that this Discord's bad and they allowed toxic content to happen. I'm like, I'm not the fucking police. People can have their opinion. If they don't like you, I'm not gonna fucking ban them for not liking you. It's not a fucking thing.
Can I get unbanned? Can I get the unbanned? Officially live? Can I get the unbanned?
No.
So for the record, people are allowed to dislike you, but if they're gonna jump into a Discord that you moderate and talk shit, you're gonna call them on it. So it's just,
No, they can. No, people talk shit on me on the Monster Hunter Discord all the time. That's fine. I don't care. Like, all the fucking time. I don't care. You can talk shit about me. Anyone can talk shit about me. I literally don't care. I thrive on negative energy.
Can't get on the Discord.
Well, you can't because you talk shit about a bunch of other people.
I think sharing meta is important, but at the same time, it shouldn't be like emphasized as the only thing. Like it goes back to that whole like, we don't need to be on this like straight line. We can be everywhere and we can still be.
You want to hear something funny? Well, at least I thought it was funny to me. So when me and Deva and a bunch of and like Retro and Hozumi, who's like a Japanese runner, ran, I think it was Apex Mizu here in Rise. We did a run and got a better time. We dumped some other people's run, and then they got mad at us for not crediting them in our run. Like what? You
did better. You did better than somebody else, and they got mad at you for not mentioning that they had at one point done well.
Yeah, that they had done a run. I'm like that's where we're at with fucking Monster Hunter. Like, it's all about fucking nickels and dimes and fucking monies and stuff. That it's fucking ridiculous. Like, I want the views, I want the recognition. Why didn't you mention me, kind of thing? And that's where we're all with all this fucking Monster Hunter drama and shit too. Like,
it's the juxtaposition of skill and speedrunning. People think that they're the same thing, but I feel like they're not.
It's fucking crazy is what it is. So that was a fun time. Yeah.
Y'all got me fucked up. Who is this crazy ass melty person now?
That was the person that got you banned from the Discord. Well, you and TSC.
Yeah, with the pedophile, but who are they?
I don't know. I don't think they're on the Discord either. I think they were banned too.
Oh, I thought
I'm over here bleeding, man. I got another one.
I thought he said that they were somebody's girlfriend.
My bottle of the knot, so I'm gonna pour myself another one really quick.
He had me all fucked up. I'm like, I don't remember making fun of nobody's girlfriend. Like, I don't remember this shit.
Yeah, Melty's a little crazy. I don't know if I should be talking about Discord stuff. But
we probably need to cut all this if this is a thing.
No, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
If they're dating somebody in the Monster Hunter community, I cannot have this go out.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't think Melty's around.
Who do they date?
I don't know. I don't even know if that was true or not.
Bro, research. Research before we upload this.
It doesn't fucking matter, dude. I'm just gonna put the shit up. It doesn't matter.
I'm starting a new job.
You got a job. It doesn't matter. Exactly. Fucking work your job. Nobody cares about online shit. Just let your shit happen.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Fucking don't. You're not gonna poke up in some fucking Google search like this person said something bad about this person. It doesn't matter. So I think Virtue was talking about like Eric's person for Melty, but it doesn't matter. I talked to 269. I think we're all cool. Nobody fucking cares. It was just fucking clout to clout. Whatever. Fine. Actually, what I wanted to do, I don't know if they're ever going to watch this, but I wanted to talk to 269 or Paradise or Eric's, because they stream every now and then for Monster Hunter, and get on their streams and do group hunts and stuff just to kind of bury the hatchet, because I don't fucking hate anyone. You can say all the shit you want about me. I don't fucking care. Don't care. Just let it happen, man. So
we're in a weird place socially where we don't all have the same entry. We don't have all the same experience. We don't have the same challenges. I remember reading something forever ago, and I could be saying it incorrectly, but I remember 269 tweeting about something about like struggling when he first started, but his struggling was like with 100+ views from X Gaming, and my struggling was 2 webcams and, you know, a game that nobody gave a fuck about on Twitch, you know, that garnered me some early success or views. Success is merited only by what you consider to be success. Mm-hmm. So if 20 people is success to you, if 100 people is success to you, if people being interactive and caring and being interested in your fucking life is success to you, then that's all the same. But I just remember him kind of griping early on about like how hard it was for him to get into streaming, and you know, as far as I'm concerned, he walked in with a fucking meal ticket. You know what I mean? Like, wasn't hard for him.
Being on Team Eric's.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but I don't fault him for it. But it's just, it's like so many people we're so accustomed to finding ourselves in these tribes. Like, we all want this one thing speaks to me, so I'm gonna follow it and I'm gonna fight for it and I'm gonna shun everybody else that doesn't abide by it. And it's such a bad way to approach things. Mm-hmm. Like we're when I hear veteran hate and why it grinds me so much, it's just like, this game was so much more than that at one point. You know, we were together. We didn't really pick out these differences in one another and find it to be a reason why we couldn't also actively contribute to one another. Whereas in now, it is a very social based environment, and unfortunately, if you don't know people, it's all about who you know, not what you know, and it's not about what you've done. It's about who you know. It's always reverting back to that stage of just like, well, if you don't know somebody who's famous, you don't know somebody who's got views, if you don't know somebody that's at the forefront of opinions and sharing the meta of how this game is being played, then ultimately you are nobody. And I remember writing Twitlongers and being very socially active about it, and 3U and 4U, and when Gaijin showed up, and I think I touched on that a little bit with you, where it was just like, nobody's reining in their following. Nobody is taking responsibility for it. And that's why I'd always say that there's not really pillars in this community. There's not people that are trying to lift other people up as well as rising themselves. It's people lifting other people up and then, dying in the process and being forgotten. Right. And to me, that's not what Monster Hunter should be about. And I know that's just my take on it. That's my opinion. And
that's a good opinion to have, especially here in the whole fucking social media aspect where everything's fucking toxic and it's
biased.
It's
biased because I mean, like, in some ways I benefit from it. It's biased to say that, like, we don't care about our old legends. We don't care about where the game came from. We don't care about the history of the players. We care about, the mechanics of the game changed. Let's talk about that. The meta of the game could change. Let's talk about that. But we're not actually talking about these, like,
I asked
issues.
you earlier, like, do you have any plans on returning to be, like, on the forefront of Monster Hunter scene?
I don't think the content that I have or would be able to provide is relevant to the social scene presently. Well, like, and I don't think it was then. I don't think it was then either. But I mean, at least occasionally I would get, like, the pat on the head or the nod from somebody that was considered to be relevant at the time. It was like I was saying the right things and people wanted to say, like, yeah, that is the good message. But at the end of the day, nobody cares about it. So let's just keep going.
I mean, I'd like to disagree with that a little bit, because I mean, that's exactly where Super Rad's in right now, where he's just preaching the old gospel of the older games and the older runners, and
he's preaching the mechanics, and he's looking at it from a mechanical standpoint, and I appreciate that. And I'm actually compiling information for him right now for his bowgun video that's coming out in the near future. So I mean, like, I support that, and I'm all about giving back. What was it, when World started, there was Adopt a Hunter, and I wrote pages and pages of breakdown of weapon and clutch claw, and I mean, you laugh, and I laugh too. Like, I get it. It's one of those things where it's like all these failed projects of other people, unfortunately. But
that's, I mean, commitment. That shows commitment.
They have good intention.
They do, 100%. 100%.
They want to do something good. It just doesn't ever really hold that,
So do you plan on ever coming back to, like, Monster Hunter full time? Just preaching your old gospel, like, just being you for Monster Hunter? Because I know you're playing other games right now, but
I think that. So what you're saying, and from how I see it implied, like, at times, like, you're saying, like, just come be evil with us. Come be evil with us.
Look, not evil. Because again, what we mentioned earlier, it's not about being evil.
You said that.
We're being, like,
come be real. Come be real. Come be the problem that people want to fight.
That's what I want. Is more real people. I don't want fake people who have nothing, like, new to say.
Come join us. We're being real over here and evil. Like, we're fucking shit.
Okay,
we're
it's not mutually
off.
exclusive. Being evil can be real. I'm just saying, but it's more about,
I've been evil in this fucking community. Like, I've when people villainized me, I went through and I made artwork and all sorts of shit. The villain of Monster Hunter, I embraced that at the time because I found it to be a joke and entertaining. Because if people only wanted to see the negative things that I was saying and not the positive implications that I was trying to, imply, then I was going to embrace that. And I did that for a while. But I mean, like I told you earlier, not only was it like a business failure, but it was also a personal failure that I endured. So it was like my life, I had to pick myself back up, and I couldn't do that by staying relevant in Monster Hunter, by trying to garner attention. And it's like, that's not who I am. That's not what I want to do. I've seen so many of the people, it's like, my life's shitty, give me money. My life's shitty, make me a partner.
Well,
my life's shitty.
I don't think that's you.
Pay attention to me.
That's not you at all.
And it's not.
you really care about this franchise is the thing. And I think you want to see it do good. And I think having other people out there who can say, positive things about a franchise and say negative things when it needs to be said. Criticism is always valid. Like, we just need more people out there who have more, constructive feedback to say. And like a lot of people out there who are doing like, full-time YouTubing, streaming stuff that include Monster Hunter, it's all just, shilling, rehashing the same thing that's been said 1,000 times before.
I don't fault people for chasing clout and fame. Like, I get it. Like, that's a thing now.
It's a viable job, 100%.
It's a thing now. Like, I guess my stance on that is like, if you want me to take that serious, then you also have to take the game serious too. It's and I know that, and I've heard it on other podcasts, and I've heard it from other people, and I've heard it over the years. And people always kind of fall back on this, like, well, nobody jokes and everybody's so serious, and it's like, okay, well, criticism is different than being serious. It's criticism. I'm providing you with input right now, so don't look at it as in like, well, you're just taking everything so serious. You're just you don't. And there's another thing too, is that like people can be satirical. Like, there's so much portrayed in like a text format that it just gets misconstrued. Like, I'm sorry, but Twitter's not a viable way to communicate your fucking feelings. Like, if you want to say some jokes and be fucking snide, okay, cool, I get that. But if you want to say something serious there, it doesn't always work. So I mean, like, that's why I backed away from it. I got tired of feeling like I was beating the same broken horse over and over again. You can only say like, take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for the content you're putting out. Take responsibility for the following that you have. There's only so many times and so many ways that you can say that before people are just like, oh, he's just high and mighty and righteous over there. Like, he's just completely incapable of being humorous about anything. It's like, fuck, man. Like, I've seen so many other people be so serious in this series and just shit on other people and try to pull everybody down and not give a fuck because they're not making it, they're not doing what they want to do, they're not enjoying it, they're not happy. And then the second that they see a little bit of success, all of a sudden the tune changes and everybody's happy and working out. And once again, I'm not trying to say like that is a stab at people. I don't care. They can do that. That's fine. But at the same time, that's not necessarily Monster Hunter. People are pulling all these elements into Monster Hunter and being like, this is what success and happiness in Monster Hunter is. And what, you're fucking 30, I'm fucking 30, Jin's got to be in his 30s, right? We all grew up as like 90s kids. We all grew up in this environment where like success was competition, and if you weren't a winner, you were a loser, and it just means you had to try harder and you had to keep fighting for it. You had to earn that. You had to earn your stripes, just like how Monster Hunter started out. You had to earn your way through this shit. It meant something to those people. It meant something to me at once upon a time. And now we're in a very different social like landscape change. Like, everything's shifted. We're fucking upside down. We're trying to keep up with everybody else that doesn't even give a fuck about anything. And it's all, it's more so a game to them than it is to us, because to us it's like a hobby and a passion and something
right, to them,
that we've committed and we've committed to. But to other people it's not, and it's hard to argue a standing point in that situation, because it's like, well, fuck, I can see to you that it's not that important, but maybe it's important to me. And it's, are you wrong? Am I right? Am I right? Am I wrong? Are you right? Like, it's all these things, and people don't want to discuss it. They just want to put like, paint it pretty and be like, well, fuck, everybody's having a good time. I know these people. I'm gonna retweet the same 20 people over and over and over and over again. And it's just like, it's so hard to try to compete in that environment and be relevant and to say something that's viable and that people will accept and process, and then in turn make them better. Like the old mindset of the veterans of the past, the old gen, the old guard, however you want to say it. We always wanted to pass things forward. We trained other players to be better than us, and we were proud that they were better than us.
That's my whole job right now.
And and that was the idea. That was the idea that we grew up with too. Is that like, you take this information. Like, Monster Hunter started with a foundation that was completely just flourished and impacted by old MMOs, EverQuest, WoW, the old Final Fantasy 11, like all these old MMOs. And in those MMOs, like, you showed up day one, you were nobody, and you found a group of people to join and be a part of, and they taught you things. And there was always like some king shit at the top of the hill that like you had to pay your respects to, not because they were just better than you, but because they had earned it and you gave them that right.
You got
and
that
then
knowledge,
one day,
man.
And then one day you attained that and you were that. And then you gave that to somebody else.
Yeah,
and that's very much
now.
and that's lost. And that was the culture of Monster Hunter in its origins, is that like over 100 HR00 double zeros. I pulled to 20, you know what I mean? Like I trained these people to fucking play the game. I taught them everything I knew. I taught them all the secrets. I taught them all the glitches, how to headlock, and the multipliers, the math, all this shit. Like we built this community was built by its players, not built. Like yeah, Capcom provided us the platform. They provided us the means to be there. But we built everything going forward. The game very much today is what the players wanted then. And we've been voicing and crying and screaming and griping and whining and also in positive ways enforcing what we want in this series. And they've been indulging in that over and over again to the point to where we are. And, you know, for so long we went through these different generational steps. Like there was a heavy emphasis of community and game. And then we were all isolated and separated in handhelds, and we found a way to unite through like X-Link Kai and Hamachi and all these other things. So then, you know, the publishers decide to get on board with that and start supporting it, but they're too late supporting that infrastructure here. But they figured it out in the East, and it worked for them there. So I mean, it worked with their core audience, but the West has always been struggling to catch up, and we've been fighting and figuring things out on our way. And we never attribute anybody that ever, you know, contributed. We don't look back and talk about the greats. We don't like. There's a streamer on Twitch named Soji Seta. He's one of the first fucking YouTubers to show Monster Hunter G, Monster Hunter DOS, and some of the other content back when the first Monster Hunter was barely coming to an end. No, I'm not talking about Switch. I'm not talking about Wii. I'm talking about PS2.
No, I mean, are they still on Twitch? I feel like I've seen that.
They're still on Twitch. But I mean, there's
another name.
Soji Seta. They were one of the original. SOUJISETA. Soji Seta. One of the original YouTubers of Monster Hunter content that was just showing what the game was to keep the hype there. Like we all did our part as a community to just kind of inform and keep one another together. I mean, I remember doing a bunch of shit in the X-Link Kai boards, just trying to keep people together. There's all these pivotal moments in Monster Hunter history.
Are they a Moonrunner by chance?
Yeah, I think he plays in Japanese.
Okay. I just found this Twitch page.
And English.
I just wanted to make sure, because I think I've seen them around before. They've been around that long. Wow.
Okay, like
how do they only have 3,000 followers? What the fuck?
Yeah, there's all these. I feel like it's like first gens left by the wayside. Like all these people that like.
Well, that's what I don't like. Yes, I want more people
kept the game going.
Who originated here, still being here.
And once again, it's a biased thing to say because I feel like I'm one of those people that kept the game going. But you can be like, well, what did you give back? What did you do? What did you say? And it's like it's one of those things where you're driving home and you get off your off ramp of your freeway, whatever. Like let's say you take the freeway home. And you see somebody on the side of the sign that says they need help, they need something. Are you gonna go and do something good and then talk about it after the fact? It diminishes the value of the deed. Right. You know, it's so hard to be validated in this community by trying to request after the fact validation for the deed. I've paid my dues, but I don't want to just constantly talk about what I did for other people, because to me that doesn't bring value to the deed.
100%.
You know, I appreciate the series and I've done what I've done. And if you know, you know. And if you don't, you don't. And I shouldn't have to validate it. And there's so many other people that I feel like fall into that grouping where it's like all these people contributed to the life of this game for the community of players. Not your community, not my community, not his community. Just the whole. And that should be important, you know, like when
cheers for everyone, for the old school guard, right. The old guard for Monster Hunter.
You give me shit, but I mean I appreciate it. I know you're being genuine, so. But I mean, like gaming has come so far, and social media.
I'm out of my stuff. I gotta go get more.
Get a whole fucking bottle.
Bro,
I
I walked away like.
I got that. I gotta go get more.
Dude,
after
I
this.
am so far down.
Hey.
This thing
I know, y'all
started
put it
damn
down.
near full.
I know y'all winning tonight for
Oh,
sure.
my face is fuzzy.
Yeah.
This is good shit.
Is
Just
it
because
really?
you guys.
Bro, look at the bottle. It's already.
Yeah.
It's
pretty
starting
good.
full.
So yeah, cheers to the old
I
guard.
don't know. Am I making sense here? Am I?
No,
am
you
I
are 100%.
writing with,
It's-
like a valid commentary, or is it just
It's
like
a different
let me
aspect,
piss?
different social aspect as it
piss.
was, back in the day, and people
Oh, it
forget
really
the
is.
old guard. No, they do. 100% they do.
Well, would they forget you guys if you were interesting?
Yeah.
Like they still do. Like I mean, isn't that how it works? Like the whole thing you guys were talking about the fame and whatever. Like, don't you got to evolve and keep going with it? And
Right, you have to you have to adapt, and like I said, I feel like I'm one of the few that has. But at the same time,
Well, and that's why I want you
didn't- I
back.
didn't-
I know I've hinted at
I
it
didn't-
before.
I didn't come into Justin TV or Twitch to be famous. I came into it because I cared about the community,
Well,
and that doesn't equal fame. That doesn't.
I know.
You know what I
but
mean?
I'm
that
not
is-
here for the fucking fame either. I've got a full-time job too. I want to.
Right.
Like
I'm a
what you
real person that
I want
realizes
to
I have to work and
educate
pay my bills.
pass down my knowledge to the next set
Shit
of
on Jin.
hunters.
I mean,
Yeah, not Jin. Jin's just fucking here to collect clout. But
more. No. You know what? More fucking power to you because you know how to do something that is hard. It is. It's genuinely not easy to do that. Anytime that I've always done it half-heartedly, but like. I'd always get in my own way. Does that make sense? Like obviously,
I get my way a lot too.
You've learned to overcome that hurdle of getting in your own way. Like I'm sure that it's in you somewhere. Like you look old enough to be part of the same fucking core beliefs that we came up on.
Oh, yeah.
We're all.
How old you?
But you've learned to get out of your own way to just embrace what you're doing, and
Kinda.
thus forth, you've had some success doing it, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a little bit.
Am I wrong?
No.
I'm asking you, Jen. You're just looking at me.
No.
I'm just listening. Like no, I mean.
I'm giving you your comeuppance, like
Yeah, I just like someone was like, yeah,
that way.
I don't think I have any clout. I don't think anybody takes me serious. I don't think
You just learned to get out of your own fucking way. Like you're not focused on just like this narrow-eyed, and I think that like often people that are not doing that take that standpoint of just like, well, it must be only about fame for you, but obviously there's more to it. You're doing, yeah, like. Not only are you enjoying, not only must you be enjoying it on some level, but you also realize that like you have to rely on it if you're going to commit to it. So you're taking a professional standpoint on it. So I give you props for that. I don't know how to get past myself to get to that level. So I'm not trying to.
Fair enough.
It's just,
I mean, that's fair. I think I'm just at a point where in my life, all I do really is teach people, and that's all I want to do is teach people to be better than me. And I have a same as you, as I have a lot of self-hatred, but I think my ability and desire to make people better than me kind of circumvents that part. And that's kind of where I am with Monster Hunter, is like I don't play Monster Hunter or upload videos and teach people and like inform people for myself or for clout or for any of that. I just want people to be better than me. That's it. I just want the next generation of hunters to be.
I want to reach my height, and then I want somebody else to surpass me.
Exactly. I want someone to be the better of me. I want to see someone do what I can't do.
Well, you guys are going to have that opportunity when Monster Hunter Stories comes out, not part 2, because that's going to be a whole new iteration.
No, because I'm going to fucking dump trucks in stories too, man.
You're going to dump truck? I know we saw.
No one's going to fucking fuck me up in stories too.
He's going to be fucking gene splicing and doing the CRISPR shit.
I'm going to hardcore in fucking stories too.
He's going to make the perfect fucking monster
human
hybrid.
brother? Did you play
I
Stories?
did. You know what? Out of all the games that were not canon Monster Hunter, I fucking love Stories. I love that.
It's such a fucking good game.
It's a good game. It's addictive. It's got good mechanics. It's a solid game. Even if it wasn't a Monster Hunter, like it's a Monster Hunter themed game, is what it is.
It's Pokemon
But
with Monster Hunter themed.
It's good. I wish I didn't finish it just because I was so concerned with staying relevant with the current Monster Hunter, and there was another one that came out, and it was just like I think it was like Gen Ultimate or some shit.
GU, yeah.
GU.
Time, yeah.
Or no, I think it was Gen on 3DS at the time because it was like For You, then Stories, and then Gen, right?
No, I think Gen came out and then GU because Gen had or Stories had Glavenus and stuff. I'm pretty sure it came out after G. So yeah, it's probably between Gen and Gen U.
I know that I just went back to like the mainstream content. Like I was just like, I just want to hunt. I just want to grind.
Right. But it's such a good fucking game. Are you gonna be getting Stories too, man?
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
are you gonna be fucking streaming it and being on the headliner there?
Oh, at the forefront of Twitch community. Yeah, totally.
I mean, I'll fucking prop you up,
dirty
man.
C word, bro. I'm gonna ride that
dirty
shit.
C word, exactly. The fucking dirty C. I'll prop you up on that dirty C.
Put it up.
You know, I had tried to very early on get a Twitch emote going where it was the C, but like the Kappa face was inside of the Capcom C, and I wanted it to be Capcom.
That's
and
nice.
it never happened because Twitch wouldn't. Yeah, because Twitch wouldn't let me have emotes with letters in it, even though they fucking let other people. I don't know.
That's why I want to get a partner, man. Free reign of emotes.
I only want partner to change my fucking name.
Same.
And to have quality options and to have emotes.
Fucking same.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about the money. I don't give a fuck about the prestige. I'm not gonna go into other channels and be like, look at this check mark, bitch. Dude. Like I don't fucking care. I just want to have those options. I just want to be fucking Virtue. That's it. I had that name when Justin TV was out, and when Twitch swapped over, I lost the name and I can't reclaim it because it's part of some old email. So I can't have Virtue, I can't have my emotes, and I can't have quality options unless I got like fucking 60 plus views and goddamn Monster Hunter Rise Twitch channel. Dude, so you know, fuck me.
I'm the same fucking way. So I have the just Phemeto Twitch channel. I just don't know the fucking email I used for it. If it was fucking like back in like 2013 or whatever, so I can't change my name because I have the old name. And I want to get rid of it because that channel hasn't been active for fucking years, but I can't do it unless I'm a partner.
You gotta be partnered.
Yeah, and I can't have quality options unless I
have a dick up your ass.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I submitted my partner application like 35 days ago at this point, and they still haven't gone back to me. And I just want partner so like, people can watch me at fucking 720.
I'm drinking these faster.
I'm almost done with my fucking whiskey, man. But like, I just want people to be able to watch me at like 720p or 480p or whatever, because people watch on their phones and do that shit. And I just want to change my name to just Phemeto because I have that account. That's my account. I just can't change it because I have that account and I don't know YouTube or what email it is attached to it.
I feel like every time Jin makes a face, it's like, I need to edit here.
No,
I'm not fucking editing shit. I said SS twice, three times.
I want the raw version.
It's fucking fine. I cannot wait for Stories 2 though, dude. Stories 2 is gonna be so fucking good. Being able to double up on their fucking gene system, so you can prioritize one element is amazing. Cause like Asterisk,
bro, you're like the Pokemon. What is it? AP, MP, or EP, or
well, Jin's fucking Pokemon champ over here.
Right. Yeah. That's what that is, right? You're just fucking crazy about having the perfect form of something, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be fucking good.
And it's even better when it's shiny, right?
No, I don't care about that. That's stupid.
Oh, okay.
That's dumb. People ride
stupid.
I'm not trying to ride a bike for 40 hours to like get something that's a different color. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, man. I make fun of those people.
No, we're like the same for every fucking game on the Switch or any console. Everyone just kind of cheats their team in, cheats your item in. Nobody fucking gives a shit because at the end of the day, your own personal skill is gonna matter for whatever the fuck you're doing anyway. Doesn't fucking matter.
I am the weapon. The medium that I use does not mean anything.
Exactly.
It's my job.
It doesn't fucking matter anymore. Like, everyone that plays Pokemon competitively clones all their fucking Pokemon. Nobody gives a shit. Everyone that plays Monster Hunter competitively, I don't care who the fuck you are, you clone all your Decos, all your Jewels. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's you versus the monster. It's not about your fucking equipment. It's not about your charm, not about your Decos. It doesn't fucking matter.
Just I can still hear you. Keep talking.
Okay, cool. Well, at least you can hear me. So, Jin's, I'm sure, going to be the same way in fucking Rise, or not Rise, Stories 2, as where we're going to get to the end game, we're going to fucking have a blast, and then we're going to fucking gene splice a shit out of our Pokemon, and then get like super optimal meta fucking monsters, and then go ham on the ladder. 'Cause I'm gonna be right there with you. I'm all about fucking stories too, and I'm gonna fucking destroy you.
I'm fine with that because I'll need the competition because I'm taking the #1 spot very, very quickly.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I know you're fucking crushing it in Pokemon. What rank are you right now in Pokemon?
I ended last month 24th worldwide.
24th?
So
okay. Pretty fucking solid. I don't think the audience for stories is going to be all that huge compared to Pokemon, but it's going to be like me, you, Sarah, a Cantor, Virtue if he's playing, Kanta, and a couple other Monster Hunter people that are going to take stories seriously.
Bro, you know that like some wrestler or some fucking YouTube star or some fucking car dealership is gonna be like Monster Hunter stories too. Oh my god! Like I never loved Monster Hunter, but I like this.
Yeah, we will fucking crush them. I don't care. I can't wait for my 7 Basil Goose team. That's all like fucking explosive blast Basil Goose that suicide bombs all their teams. Don't care.
All I'm doing. Well, that's all the questions we got today, and this has been what 2 hours. Like this was a good one today, dude. I really appreciate you coming on here today, Virtue. You got
anything else you want to add, Virtue, before we sign off here?
You know, this was a lot more fun than I thought it was. I think it's probably, you know, with reasons in mind.
Yeah,
but I mean, no, you guys are a good bunch of guys. I'm pleasantly
surprised. You should hang out on the Discord more often, to be honest. We're just a bunch of fucking meta cucks that just yell at each other.
Just a bunch of old chitters, man.
Old chitters, yeah, that is the Discord. Old chitters.
I like that meme that you made me last night.
Yeah, the veterans.
Like, yeah, just, here you go, Fiverr. So you've earned it.
Jin, how old are you?
36.
36. Okay, you were definitely the oldest of us.
Oh, you got a year on me.
Wait, you're that old?
I'm gonna be 36 in July.
Both of you look older than I do. I look great for my age.
I'm 28.
Bro, it's the beard. It's the beard.
It's the beard. It's 100% the beard. You're gonna be 40? God damn, dude. That's crazy.
No, I said you look like you're 40.
Dude, I'm only 28.
Down to here.
Yeah, that's crazy. You've always had the beard, though, Virtue.
Yeah, that's been my thing.
It's a good beard.
When are you gonna
get like dwarf braids for it? You know, you get the rings and stuff for your beard.
I've already done that, man. I've done the curly mustache. I've done the curly beard. I've done like mustache.
You gotta do Monster Hunter stuff on Twitch. That's the only time I ever watch Twitch is for Monster Hunter. I gotta see you more on that shit.
I always thought of like my big sellout moment being like, if someone wants to pay me 10K, I'll shave this shit off live.
No.
Yeah,
You can't do that shit.
But then you gotta be fucking shitty and be like, if somebody pays more than that, I'll keep it. You know what I mean? Like,
so I had a plan for that.
You gotta play the system.
For Monster Hunter Stories 2, I'm gonna be moving in like a month or two with my girlfriend down in LA, or not LA, Nevada. And I wanted to do like a subscriber goal where I play stories co-op with her, who's like, I think she's here. She was like the worst fucking gamer on the planet.
But
and just have me just complain the entire time.
It's just gonna be you getting mad at her.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be her playing at me getting mad the entire time.
We're gonna get a live stream of the end of the relationship. It's gonna be great. Like,
you know what? I'd throw money at the screen for that.
I think that sounds like fun. I hope
break up. Give 5 subs.
Yeah.
Relationship over.
A little paranoid, but it sounds like fun, right?
Ruin your sexical. Wow.
I know, right? Drinking a bit much. I'm halfway through my bottle now.
How to ruin your life?
How to ruin your life? And with gaming, the only way.
It'll be fine. Everything's fine.
Well, thank you again, Virtue, for being here today, dude. This has been awesome. Fen, thank you as always for having me, and thank you to all the viewers for hanging out with us. We absolutely love and appreciate all of you more than anything.
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
All right, I guess we're going to take off then. All right. Thanks for hanging around, brother. I appreciate it, man. I'll see you on the Discord because you're going to be around, I hope.
Totally.
All right, cool. All right, peace, guys.
Bye.